Welcome to InTuneDeep Tarot. Thank you for tuning in. I am at the beach, which seems to be my secret place for some reason. I just feel the most inspired by being around water and surrounded by water. I feel like wherever I decide to settle or move to, it just has to be on a coast of some sort, or at least easy access. One of my biggest goals is to actually have a home like with a beachfront. TMI anyway. So I came here because I just feel like the best of my reads, they flow the best when I'm near a body of water. And today, the tide is coming in, so it's high tide, and I felt like I got the download, the channel of big flood of emotions, high tide. And as I'm seeing big waves rush in, I feel like that is parallel to some things that some of us may be going through. A lot of us may feel emotions right now. We're fresh off of that full moon in Aries. And personally, I just thought about Aries as a fire sign. I thought like, wow, we're going to get this big influx of creativity. But as a collective, I felt like it was very different energy. It was sort of a turning point coming from, we're in my area. I'm in the northern hemisphere, and we're going from summer to autumn, and there's a big change there. There's a big drop off. There's going from things being so full of life and green to going into a dying season or a dormant season, our hibernation, so to speak, or the beginning of it. And I feel like our mental, spiritual, and physical are also going through that change as well. So I feel like this big influx right now of emotions is parallel to what some of us are going through. I felt really melancholy after or during this Aries full moon. So let's pull cards and see what's up with the energy, because right now I can't really quite put my finger on it, but let's just see what comes out. All right, here we go. I'm gonna get a Star Codes Astro card, or whatever decides to come out. Big influx of emotions. What divine messages do we need to know, hear, see, feel, understand, come to our conscious minds? Okay, here we do. We have a card, mystery. That's exactly what I feel like. I'm going through something, and maybe a lot of you can understand and resonate with what I'm saying. I feel like whatever I'm going through, it's something, but I can't quite put my finger on it. I really can't. I don't understand what I feel, but definitely feeling like the skull and definitely feeling like I have flowers around me. I feel like I'm going through some sort of death, but I don't feel dead. I don't feel depressed. I don't feel horrible. But I definitely feel like there's something to the energy that I feel right now. We could be going through some sort of metamorphosis. We could be going through some sort of change. And bottom of the deck, it's interesting. We have Capricorn, which says achieve. So it's almost as if we want to achieve things. We have goals in mind. We have things we need to accomplish, but it's like we may be stuck, and it's mysterious what path we need to take. What's our next options? What's our next path? What are our next actions? I think a lot of us are feeling quite stuck right now. And under that, we have Plutonic energy. We have Pluto, rebirth. We are definitely undergoing some sort of rebirth. So I'm going to pull another card to see if we have any more energy that speaks to us. Things we need to see, hear, divine messages. Pinnacle comes out. Mid-heaven. Like I said, it's mid-heaven. It's like It's not horrible. It's not good. It's not bad. But we're on the pinnacle of something. Not quite sure what, but there's like, it's like that threshold kind of energy. And also what came out with midheaven was trine, sextile, symbiosis, which is talking about something like at an intersection. It's talking and speaking of at some sort of crossroads. Something is challenging something. We can't quite put our finger on it, but when we're in this kind of energy, I tell people who I read, and I also tell friends and family that, these are some of the times where you just kind of have to surrender. Not every day we're going to be in this state of, we're going to know what to do every day. We know what direction we're going to go. And in those times, I think it is very important to take care of yourself. Big on self-care during these times, because we don't really know what to do. We don't really know what direction to go. We don't want to go full force in the opposite direction or the wrong direction. So the best we can do is meditate, take time for yourself, take solitude, take baths, eat healthy. Maybe some of you are feeling like you're getting more conscious about taking care of yourself and feeling like you need some sort of changes when it comes to your physical, mental, and spiritual journey. A lot of you may feel like, I need to start walking, or, getting on some sort of better eating routine, exercise routine. So I think that, that things are mysterious, even though we have these goals and we're going through this rebirth, this change of seasons in our lives, and also change in seasons when it comes to our 3D, our reality, the world around us. I think that we are on the pinnacle of some sort of change, but we're in this transition right now. And there's nothing that we can kind of do about it until we get a more concrete feeling of what's going on, or our intuitions are more in line, and our instincts are like, okay, I think it's go time. I think it's time for me to strike. It's time for me to make some sort of action, and whatever my goals are, I think this is the way to go. But right now, it's not that time right now. So I feel a need to get an alchemy card. I love this deck. This is one of my favorites. Another oracle. Let's just see what comes out. What divine messages do we need to see, know, hear with the evident energy that we're pondering on right now? We have a couple cards that came out. We have coagulation. We have yellowing. Yellowing reminds me of the yellow chakra, which is the solar plexus. It's confidence. And antimony or antimony. I got this in a reading, I want to say a while back, when it was moon trining Mars or something like that. So since we are that's kind of strange, because Mars rules Aries, and we're fresh off of that Aries energy. So let's see what coagulation has to say. Coagulation. Coagulation. I'm going to read it from the book. All right. Solidity, adherence, stuckness. Wow. Exactly what we are feeling right now. Solidity, adherence, stuckness, coagulation. It's almost like, like we're stuck in a way. But let's just see what this card says. And look how cool this is too. There's it looks like an evil eye in there, and like a nest. It's hair, and it also looks very harvesty, like harvest season, which, like I said, in the northern hemisphere, this is our autumn, our fall time right now. So let's see what it says. Sulfur and lead are agents of coagulatio, which is how you say coagulation in Latin. Take note if these cards appear in the same reading, as it would indicate an advanced state of quote-unquote stuckness. When this card appears, the alchemist must discern whether the earth element is helping or hindering the work. Is the attachment one of benevolence or convenience? Coagulatio is a great alchemical operation of earth. By way of this operation, we experience that which was fluid churning into a solid formation. The formerly disparate ingredients began adhering together into a fixed and solid unit. The result is visible, reliable, and eventually concrete. When you hear the phrase, "It is finally taking shape," coagulation is underway. The shadow aspect of coagulatio is that the elements have come together without much awareness, and in turn they become unconsciously attached. Inertia and resentment set in. The parts can no longer separate, even if they wish to. Many long-term relationships have coagulatio aspects, a naturally occurring codependency by which both parties feel unseen or unknown as individuals. The work of coagulatio is to experience the merging with other while not losing oneself in the mush. Go deeper, look at the sculptures of Louise Nevelson to ponder merging into traffic. Wow. It's crazy because, like I said, I came here and I do some of my best readings near water. And the way the waves are coming in with this high tide, it's almost as if the waves are coming in to merge with the rest of the body of water. The way the waves are going around this big jetty. And I'm going to actually take a picture of it. So when you finally see it and it's up on YouTube for you to see, I'm going to take a picture of how the waves are coming in and joining the rest of the other water around this structure. And they're all coming in together to the shore. Coagulation. It's crazy how, there are no accidents, they say. And I'm just in awe at some time how the energy coagulates, I guess. It comes together with the readings. We are feeling a very stuck energy, and this coagulation is causing us to feel like we did a lot of work for no reason to be stuck in a place right now. So I'm here to remind you that there's no such thing as being stuck. And I almost want to pull a few tarot cards. I feel called to pull a few tarot cards to kind of just clarify what's going on. So let me shuffle. What clarification can we get on this coagulatio / coagulation energy? What clarification? Okay. So there may be some sort of releasing that needs to be done. The Three of Swords, the Heartbreak card, came out in reverse. Are we causing ourselves to be stuck in situations because of heartbreak, because of things that hurt our feelings, or things that have triggered us at work, in a relationship, or things in life, things of the past, things from our childhood? What are some of the things that need to be released? And then bottom of the deck, we have the Four of Swords, which talks about release, which talks about healing. What things need to be healed in your life that are causing you to have some sort of stuck feeling? And we also have this card, which is, they say it's the slowest card in the deck, which is the Knight of Pentacles. It's very stuck energy. Usually knights are fast acting and they're always on a horse going fast. This knight is not. This knight has stopped and has become very stagnant. Do you have any, or do you take any responsibility for some of your stuckness? Are you stuck in a job where you feel like it's a dead-end job? You're not going any further? Is your position the highest you can get and you still feel like you're not satisfied in where you are? Is your relationship stuck and it's very mundane? Is it not something that you feel is fitting your life anymore? Can you speak to your partner about things and say, I feel a bit stuck. I don't like how things are going. Or are you suffering in silence and keeping all of these thoughts to yourself with the Seven of Swords? Keeping these thoughts of anguish, stress to yourself, and it's causing you to be stuck. Some of that stuck type of energy really can cause issues in our life, in our health, mentally, spiritually, within our journey, our life's journey. What are some of the things that are causing coagulation in your life that you yourself can take responsibility for and change? Or fix the clog, so to speak, when it comes to coagulation? Because sometimes when I think about that, I think about either a clogged drain or a clogged artery. None of us want clogged arteries. We want to take care of our health, and a lot of our mental and emotional health, if it's not taken care of, it can actually manifest physically and hurt us. So we want to be free flowing when it comes to our lives. We want to be free flowing when it comes to our emotions and our mental state. So take a look at some of those things and see if there is anything that you can personally do to declog and come out of this coagulation feeling. Okay, so moving on to yellowing. Yellowing, aging, transitioning, warning. We were just talking about transitioning energy. Yellowing, like the leaves that are yellowing. And we also have a snake, which symbolizes transition as well. It says, imagine a rainbow with no yellow. The colors remain static and disconnected. The gift of yellow is the bridging of all phases, the full expression of life's spectrum. Yellow rides a fine line. In art, the yellow is often interpreted as cheeriness covering turmoil, as seen in the late paintings of Van Gogh. Yellowing. Xanthosis is how it is said in Latin. Indicating transition, the yellowing leads us into the next phase of our alchemical work. Envision the yellowing as pages of the beloved novel or the ochre blanket of leaves in the fall. I just said that, wow. This color seeps out to signify the beginning of the end, a return to zero. Even a deep bruise finds a yellow tint as it reaches the final stages of healing. In contrast, yellow can be the marker of long-awaited growth, as seen in the first rays of the sun in the chair of Forsythia in February. Whether its message, yellow tells the truth. It leads us forward, like the vibrant canary in the mine, warning of what's to come. Take heed. The transition is here, whether by yoke or bile. How to respond is up to you. It's likely you already know. Go deeper. Look at Terry O'Neill's photograph of David Bowie in 1974 and to ponder transition as a teacher. So there's a lot of transitioning in between threshold energy. This yellowing is just showing that there are signs of a very evident transition. We may be coming up on some serious choices in our lives. And I think that they're very, I want to say that they're uncomfortable. I don't want to say it, but why sugarcoat? Do we have any clarification for this yellowing energy? What divine messages do we have for this yellowing energy? 7. A lot of us are fighting this energy and trying to shield ourselves from possible heartbreak. We're trying to protect ourselves, which is, it's very human of us. It's very mammal of us to want to protect ourselves from the unknown. We don't know what's on the other side. But we can be sabotaging ourselves by trying to protect ourselves from such transition. We have to be courageous and, have this spirit of whatever comes at me, fiery or not, I'm going to be okay. If we carry the energy that whatever comes for us, whatever comes toward us will be for us, and whatever happens to us is going to be for our greater good regardless, I think that is something that we have to be sure of. We have to be sure that and carry the vibration and the energy that whatever happens to me happens for me, even if it's a challenge. Some of us may be moving away in different directions, whatever that may be. This is a card that's evident that, we may be in tough waters right now, troubled waters, but we are going to move forward with, whatever our next action is. We're going to have choices. And whatever that is, it's going to be for our greater good. Blessing or lesson, whatever it may be. Okay? So we're going to move on to antimony or antimony. I forgot how to say this word. I looked it up the last time, but I really don't remember. So forgive me if I am mispronouncing it. All right, so let's see. And there's a white wolf on it. Maybe that's someone's spirit animal. All right, let's see what this has to say. All right, Stibis, antimony, whichever it is. Like many of the alchemy cards, the gray wolf can most easily be felt through the laboratory of the human body. Dance, run, shake, breathe. Another interpretation of this material is that something is eating away or wearing away at the situation or person. Let this possibly open a deeper revelation. Wildness, fierceness, hunger. In medieval times, antimony or antimony became known as the gray wolf of alchemy. This was due to the metalloids, unpredictable qualities and its ability to eat away at materials in the laboratory. Gold is one of the few materials to withstand contact with it. For these reasons, this card must be read with delicacy. On one hand, it represents the wild and free spirit that longs to express itself in the world. On the other hand, it represents a fierceness that can turn destructive or corrosive at the drop of a hat. The message here is clear. Channel the gray wolf's energy toward creativity. Challenge it to come out of the shadows and express itself. Embark on a creative project or adventure that's calling you, rather than focusing on why you can't. Once you begin, don't guilt. The gray wolf responds to respect, not repression. Go deeper. Read Women Who Run with the Wolves by Clarissa Pinkola Estes to ponder corrosion as medicine. And here's the card again. I thought it was a white wolf, but it's a gray wolf. I think through wildness, fierceness, and that type of rebel, Aquarian type of energy, I think sometimes we can find who we truly are. Going against the grain and kind of finding yourself on your own and on your own terms, you can kind of break out of some mundane stuckness. So I think part of our job and part of our responsibility is to... So I'm going to... Apologies, the video cut off. But basically what I was saying with the antimony, the Stibis energy was that we are kind of being called to do something out of the ordinary. And in doing so, we have the clarification to move forward in doing something that may be against what we normally do. Some of that Aquarian full card energy, which is taking some sort of leap of faith in a certain area of our lives. And understanding that to have faith and have hope in that area, and that everything is going to be okay. Even if you do make mistakes and go into the energy of like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. But whatever you decide to do and take a risk, I know you will use your discernment. You'll use your discernment and figure out that, I wanted to take a risk and go to school and see if that was something that I wanted to do. But before you make those decisions, you will logically think about how that will affect your life and, whatever it is, or take a risk of something that you always wanted to do. It could be a hobby of, I always wanted to be a photographer. I always wanted to be someone who took up an instrument. That's not something that's, would be detrimental to your life. It could only add to your life. So try some new things. I'm not saying to go and do something risky and horrible with your finances, but, use your discernment, of course. So these are the messages that I have for you. I hope you enjoyed. If you're looking for a personal reading, all of that information will be in the description box. I am doing a special during this Libra season. So the $44.44 pre-recorded reading, in which you will get a link to a private link. That's going for $25.25. If you're interested in any of my services, all of that information will be in the description box. If you are feeling a need to donate to the channel, we appreciate all your donations, no matter how generous or, whatever the size, it doesn't matter. We appreciate all of them so far, and I appreciate your likes and shares and subscribes. I really, really do. Thank you so much for everything. I'm sorry that this reading was long, but I just felt like it was so needed. All right, thank you so much, and talk to you soon.